And we're live for 2 seconds now. And just, I guess we've got E-Rock in here, and we've got Ellie Orchard so far. And I'm not seeing a number for who's in here. We're in a kind of bad time slot for the West Coast. But today I have Nick from MudCat Whiskers.
Hey, everybody.
Which I just learned is I guess one of the OG owners since
2015. Yeah, the OG that nobody's ever heard of.
I had heard about you for years. And I've seen a million reviews of your products. And just one of those things, there's so many companies that I finally got a chance to try it out a few weeks ago. And I was very pleased. And,
well, that's good.
Oh, yeah, no, I loved these scents. In fact, I think I had someone mention some more scents I should try. The two they suggested were 1812, and I don't recall what the other one was. 1812 and Black Bayou.
Oh, Bayou Black.
Bayou Black.
Yeah, Bayou Black is like a dark amber and lavender blend, and it is like really amazing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, could you say that again?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I get confused trying to keep track of the
yeah, you got a lot going on. I'm just sitting here chilling. Yeah, actually, I can't even see the comments that I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it's a black amber and lavender blend. It's really smooth and relaxing, but the thing is, the lavender is not overplayed. You know, it's more of like a warm, cozy kind of blend.
In fact, I've noticed that for the longest one of the first lavender scents I ever tried was hardcore lavender.
It's like whoa.
Yeah, and I get this really bad attitude towards it until little by little, you know, I think I tried something lime and lavender that was awesome recently, cedar and lavender, and I'm finding that if it's not by itself, I love it.
Right. For me, that was patchouli. Like for a while, I had a bad stint with patchouli, and you know, it's kind of wearing on me in a good way, but I have to get used to it. You know,
it's funny. I think I've kind of worn in the opposite direction. I've always enjoyed a lot of scents with patchouli in them, but there's a certain scent that from different companies that I could tell I didn't like it, but I didn't know what it was because it was just a piece of that patchouli done in a certain way. And it took me the longest time to figure out that common denominator that I couldn't figure out what it was patchouli. And but even that, I mean, their sense, I thought I loved patchouli until I identified that the sense that
right. Well, and I mean, the thing is, depending on what it's blended with, you can bring out different aspects of it, you know, because patchouli is a pretty complex blend in itself. You know, it's kind of woodsy, but it's very earthy too. So you can pull on the different notes. I think there's even an aspect of a top note in patchouli that's kind of pungent, hits you in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then it mellows out to a warm wood, you know.
Well, and from time to time, I'm going to mention people in the comments. I'm not trying to interrupt.
Oh no, like I said, I can't see the chat because I'm on my phone.
Do you see it when I put it up on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I try and put each and every one of them up. Love Them Labs. By the way, Love Them Labs. I went looking for your YouTube channel and I could not find it, but I'll try it again in case you do have some stuff up there. And we've got Nicholas C saying hello to Nick and myself. Nicholas. And lavender equals Betty By Time, according to E-Rock. Hi, David. Then we've got Russ.
Hey, Russ.
True North Beard Company.
Hey, True.
Mark Brown. Everyone just saying hi to each other.
Gary.
Mark Brown again. Yeah, we really have never talked except for a couple of little Instagram chats. But when you ever said you've been in the business since 2015, I was just kind of shocked. Because that's that's a long time, for small
I
batch
mean,
industry.
yeah, I just take it one day at a time. Growth, year after year is kind of thing. I'm not looking for like a meteoric rise or anything.
I think for me it was that I thought of the guys who had been in it forever as 2017, 2018.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I think it was me, Black Rebel, Mad
hi Gary.
Viking started at the same time. And then
Black
there's
Rebel and who?
Mad Viking. I think they started around 2015. There's one called why can I think of it? Yeah, there was a couple that started back then. And like I was telling you before, some come and gone. A lot of turnover.
And especially recently, I forget who it was, but they said there were 20 over. I don't know how long it was, but within recent times that have folded up. So that's a lot of companies folding up, and I can see the desire to do it. It's not that expensive compared to other businesses to get started in, and it's a kind of cool business to be in. But
I think people think that it's a lot easier than it is. You know what I mean? And then when you're filling inventory, you're building the website, you're posting every day, you're trying to think of content, you're trying to think of the next scent and packaging and ordering. It all becomes a bit much for people who are just doing it for fun,
Yeah. I think if I ever did something like that, it'd just be for fun to get that. One of the things I'm always curious about is when I get a scent, what it would be like if just this one element was pulled out of it or that one element. Those scents that you can't really detect individually, they're in there moving the scent to what it is. And I'm always curious what these scents that I can't detect individually, what the overall scent would be without them. And someone like you gets to know that through the whole process of creating.
Yeah, creating. And the thing is, a lot of creators like myself and Nate and others, we have a big, extensive library of fragrances.
Yeah.
Where the reviewer might just be smelling it out of the bottle and they're comparing one blend to a blend from a different company. Yeah. However, when you have 100 or 200 different essential and fragrance oils sitting in your library back here, you can kind of blend them together a little bit better and actually get to know the essence of what that scent smells like.
Another reason I don't think I'd ever even consider it is that I know I couldn't do as good a job as
don't
anyway.
Well, don't go about it that way. I mean, I
guess the point is anything I want, I can already get. I'm not going to create something that's better than is already available on your site. So why put myself through it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay to have fun with it. It's okay to play. I mean, you can look up fragrances and buy a sample pack, and especially during Father's Day and things like that, a lot of these fragrance companies will put out a men's pack, and then you just get the men's pack and you play around with it a little bit.
And I just got a suggestion from Nicholas C.
Parish.
I should try Parish.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find it.
Parish is a tobacco leaf and amber blend. The difference between tobacco leaf and like a Cuban tobacco is that a tobacco leaf is a lot sweeter. So that's a pretty good blend, but it tends to be on the sweet side. It's not like cigar as much as it's green tobacco.
Tobacco leaf with sultry earthiness of dark amber. But you mentioned the third element.
Yeah, well, when they all play together, you get that experience.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a tobacco leaf and dark amber, but it's more of like a green tobacco as opposed to a Cuban tobacco. Yeah, it's a sweet aroma.
Yeah, I saw a number of scents that I wanted to try, but you can only buy so much.
And
one of the things that keeps me from ever wanting to mix my own, I've already got hundreds of bottles. I don't need to play around
Right.
and create new ones. I'm sometimes saddened by how much I eventually throw away.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, when I first got into it, collecting wasn't a thing, I guess I could say. And then as the community developed, you get collectors who, they want all of a company and they want the individual, all the labels to look different and stuff like that. And they
Gotcha.
want the scent profile put on there so they can distinguish between this one and that one. But I'm more of the mindset, if you're buying MudCat Whiskers and you're getting Paw Paw's pipe, then you should know what Paw Paw's pipe smells like.
Yep.
It's more of, I'm geared more toward like the everyday working man as opposed to a collector. Now, don't get me wrong, they look great on the shelf, but they're very monochromatic, and subtle, with the brownish tones.
Yeah, no, I like your labels. I'm not one. I don't consider myself a collector, even though I've got my oils.
Even though you have 200 bottles.
Well, I'm doing reviews, so I have to keep on buying something new every week. But I've got them stored in one of those. What are those cabinets old women put their little figurines in?
That's Schifferobe?
No, a vanity cabinet.
Yeah, okay.
Only because it's glass sides and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a point, and I don't remember what it was. It was something about, even though I've got them displayed like that, I really am not trying to collect. When things go bad, I can't help myself, but I don't throw away the bottles. I put them in storage just in case I'm ever wondering, what did I buy from you? What did I buy from MudCat Whiskers? And I can go and look and see what I used to have.
Right. And the other thing is, if you're just interested in keeping the bottle as a reference, after the oil goes rancid, you just dump it out and keep the bottle. It'll still have nuances of what it smelled like, from the trace fragrance in there. So you can use it as a reference. But
I don't dump them out. I just put them in their hole,
Yeah, just leave them there.
If they last that long in their hole when they finally go bad.
Right. Well, the reason I say that is because sometimes the little neoprene toppers, if it has oil in it, will corrode.
Okay.
Is the only thing.
Yep.
I saw somebody asking about he never tried MudCat before, and what are my top scents? Well, I have Fig and Awesome on my shelf right here, but the Bayou Black that you referenced earlier, the Black Amber, that one's pretty good. Boudreaux came out a couple years ago, and that one's a clean, fresh scent that people really enjoy. But the thing is, all of my blends are different. Not necessarily from a different company, but they offer things to people who like different stuff. Like I'll have a tobacco, I'll have a cologne, I'll have a clean, fresh scent, I'll have something green. That way, whatever your preference, I'll have something there for you.
Okay, when you said all your blends are different, I thought for a moment you meant the carrier blend.
Well, I used to do that back in 2015, but as I started growing, I realized that it was a production nightmare, because I had to carry like 30 different carrier oils, and then I had to keep track of, well, when does this carrier oil go bad versus, what's the shelf, all that kind of stuff. And if I buy like a bunch of grapeseed and the grapeseed's not moving, then what do I do with it? So I kind of, I've done my research for a while, and I like the way that my jojoba, hemp seed, and argan and vitamin E like play together. It's a classic blend that I think works best for my beard,
Yeah, it reminds me of, well, it does. There was another company, they got away from the blend, but it was a very simple 3-oil blend without the vitamin E, and it would have been similar to yours. I like the simple blends.
Well, my thing is, I do a lot of retail spaces, so I'm looking for shelf life. And so if I'm blending 5 different carriers or 10 different carriers together, well, then the limiting factor is the shelf life of the carrier oil that's going to go bad first.
Yeah.
So I have to keep that in mind. And also for production value, it makes things go a lot easier on my end.
Yeah. And now you don't do scents of the month or any of that, do you?
Every now and then I'll do like a seasonal, but those are pretty set. Like in October, I'll do a Rugaru. In like around Cinco de Mayo, I'll do a Tampico, which is kind of like a margarita, um, that kind of thing. But no, I don't tend to do a scent of the month, mostly because then everybody just gets that scent and they forget about all the other stuff,
For me,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, and it's almost like you're chasing your own tail. Like, okay, that scent was great. What do I come out with next month? And it's like you keep trying to top yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then I have customers. I had one last week who was like, he said, where'd Evangeline go? Because he used to buy Evangeline. His wife loved it, and I took it off. So I told him, I was like, if you just put a note in there, I'll make it for you. I have all the stuff to make it. I just, I had to take it off. So people get kind of in a pigeonhole of what they like. And I want to keep offering,
I've got to tell
those
you,
kind of things.
I enjoy a stable lineup,
Right.
and not one that's constantly changing. I've even had times when I've purchased something, and 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, when I go to review it, I can't find the scent profile because it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
It just disappeared.
It's not on the bottle. It's not on the website.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is with MudCat Whiskers, I'm trying to become a classic, like classic beard care. And that's kind of hard to do if you're always reinventing yourself. Like you'll have companies that rebrand and do this and change their name and change the carrier oils and completely change their scent profiles. And I just want something that's reliable, that's going to work, that people enjoy for years to come,
Yeah, and in fact, one scent that looks pretty interesting. I don't know if this is new. It says new blend, Louisiana Summer. Is that one new?
Yeah. Well, Louisiana Summer was one of the first ones that I released back in 2016. But the thing is, the reason I called it Louisiana Summer is because in Louisiana, we have to deal with a lot of mosquitoes and things like that. So I blended lemongrass, lemongrass, eucalyptus, and citronella, along with a touch of Cuban tobacco. And then, so it's kind of like a bug off blend. And I found that my hunters liked it a lot. But the thing is, you don't want to wear citronella every day because it gets old. So what I've done is I reformulated that fragrance blend with bamboo, spearmint oil, and that kind of thing. Okay. And so that's why I said it's rebranded, because.
Yeah. So people actually wear it to help with mosquito repellent?
Yeah, because those, like the citronella and the lemongrass, were the pure essential oils, and that's what they use in like bug off sprays and things like that. Like if you plant lemongrass around your patio, mosquitoes will go away. Same thing, I think, with lavender and rosemary, but I couldn't really get those to play together.
I've never dealt with that until this summer.
Come down to Louisiana, you'll be swatting them. Well, they get like this big.
I've got a very large offset garage, and there's a little trade-off. I get a lot of bat crap, but no mosquitoes. And something it's spend
because the bats eat all the mosquitoes. So
if I have people over and it's dusk, I ask people to quiet down, because if you speak too loudly, they'll just scare off the bats somewhere else. Yeah.
Ellie says, looking at your little chat, it says Burmese Royal and Indigo are fire. Now, that's, I don't want to say a collaboration, but that's a line that I developed for Molinaro Snake Lab. I was working with them. They're one of my vendors out in Texas. And he asked me to develop a line for him. And a couple of my barbers are asking for their own exclusive lines too. Like Almic Grooming, I made that one. And the barber that I was just talking with in Eunice, I'm working on a line for her as well.
And Russ mentioned that you offer shaving tools as well.
Yeah, I'm moving toward that way, just so I can expand my audience a little bit more. I have straight razors, I have safety razors, I have these. I'll be offering little blades, but I'm developing a shave soap, pre-shave lotion, all that kind of stuff.
And would that be under more? Trimming and shaving?
Yeah, trimming and shaving. They're not up on the site yet. You'll see the razors there.
Okay.
But like the shave soap, that's still in development. I have all the ingredients here. I just gotta, put them together.
In fact, I've always wondered, and this foolish, and I could probably figure it out within, 30 seconds looking on Google. A straight razor type of razor with a safety razor in it is still a safety razor and not a straight razor, correct?
No. Watch, I'll get them for you. Give me a sec. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, yours. That I always thought that was still considered a safety.
Yeah. See, this is a straight razor. The reason they call it a straight razor is because it's straight. It's one-sided. Whereas a safety razor is usually a double-edged. Now, they can use the same kind of razor blade, like these little Australia green. But the thing is, on a straight razor, you could either buy the half blade or you could snap these in half.
Yeah.
But on the safety razor, it's more like a traditional. It's double-edged. And then so you have both sides. And the thing with this is it sets the angle for you.
Got it.
Where on a straight razor, you're setting the angle with your hand.
Someone somewhere arguing that the ones with the insertable blade that's not just a piece of steel isn't a real straight razor. And I didn't know what was true or not true. So I thought I'd ask.
It's not a traditional razor. The thing is with these, it's a little less intense because this one is, you insert the blade and everything, but it's not a traditional straight razor. The straight razor is like, this would be one solid piece of, steel, and then you would get a stirrup and, sharpen it against leather. But I mean, essentially barbers use this because they can't use the other one for hygiene use, hygiene regulations and stuff like that.
I use it so I don't slit my throat, but
well, as long as you're not going this way, you should be all right. You might peel off the top layer of skin, but it's going to go eventually anyway, right?
And E-Rock wondered where the name MudCat Whiskers came from. I think I've heard this before, but I don't recall.
Okay, well, I wanted something that was Louisiana without being a crawfish, and the thing is, a catfish has that nice mustache, so I figured it would kind of tie in together.
Nice.
Well, and then and I didn't call it like MudCat beards or whatever, because if I wanted to expand out of the Louisiana theme, I can go more like backwoods or steampunk. It kind of opens it up to more of a country feel,
And Ellie says the further south you go, the bigger the skeeters.
Yeah. Well, we have those like mosquito hawks, the big, they don't bite, but they just scare small kids.
Right. And Aldemir, sorry I didn't say hi when you first came in. And what does he say?
Blue catfish are huge. Yeah, they and I do really enjoy fishing, so it's kind of, Yeah, they're hard to wrestle.
In fact, I've got to try I still haven't used your seasoning yet.
The Tonys? Yeah.
Now, would that be something that you need to cook into the food or just use it as a...
No, it's like a salt and pepper.
Okay.
I mean, really, you could, for those of you who don't know, this year I've been tossing these into my little gift packs. My packages and stuff, just to kind of spread the Louisiana vibe. But you can put it on fries. You can put it on fried chicken. Just sprinkle it on top. With these, it's not enough to marinate or season anything with before you barbecue. But Gary, Rain is my barbershop scent. It's like a talc with a little bit of exotic spice at the end.
Ooh, nice. I love barbershop scents, but I've got to admit, during the summer,
you got burned out.
During the summer with the heat, it's just not my favorite. Once the other 3 seasons, I'm down with it. But hi, Corey Weatherbeard.
Hey, Corey. And but instead of doing the Tony's. I think what I'm going to start doing, I talked about it on my live last night, but I'm going to be looking up old Cajun recipes like red beans and rice and crawfish etouffee, and including those in the packages as well. Kind of just, like I said, to spread the culture a little bit more.
Yeah. And David is letting Gary know that your barbershop, it's like a barbershop version, but completely different than everybody else. Hard to explain.
It's a light clean scent, almost like a soap in a way. Like it does really well in my shampoo line. Like people just love it. But it has like a white pepper finish. So
I know one of your scents, and I think it's one of the ones that was suggested to me, has clove in it. And yes, the 1812.
But that's a very light scent. It's more of a tonka bean than clove. It just has kind of like whiffs, clove.
Well, I actually have I bought a bottle of Clove Essential Oil, and have been using it for something, and realized that I don't dislike it the way I thought I did. And something that really kind of bothers me when I go to a site like yours, there are scents that I would probably love that I've got to sometimes force myself, even though I'm afraid of clove. I'm probably really going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way 1812 plays off, it's kind of like how suntan lotion smells. It kind of smells like that, but it's really, really light. That's one of my lighter blends.
Really?
Barbershops are classic 4-season wear.
Maybe, but for some reason, barbershop scents in 95 degrees don't work for me.
Yeah, it's funny. They classify things as a barbershop, but my stuff is in a barbershop. So essentially, whatever you pick is technically a barbershop scent.
Gotcha.
Like when I went to Eunice, they put in Bayou Black. So technically, Bayou Black's a barbershop scent. If you want to get technical.
Yeah. Don't follow them really, because they. Yeah, Ellie's saying that if you did have recipes, I do everything as a guideline.
So do we. Down here, the recipes are just something to look at while you're, throwing onions and bell pepper together.
Yeah. I used to have this habit of doing it the way the recipe said the first time, and then my way the second time. But too many times.
You put your little spin on it.
Yeah. And last warning, Mark. I guess about the barbershop comment. And now, do you have anything new coming out that you want to tell us about, or?
Well, other than the shaving line, I am working on some fall scents. I know that we were talking about seasonals before, but these would be like rotation based, because I'm not a scent of the month kind of guy, essentially. But I am working on like a private reserve, which is going to be more, I don't want to say elite, but a lot more polished. And it won't be as earthy and woodsy like most of my blends.
Got you. In looking at this, I think I just counted, I think it was like 17 cents.
Yeah. And that's down from like 24.
Really? I could have sworn at some point there were a few less than this. No? Am I wrong?
No. Yeah, because let's see, I took Thibodeau, I took off Evangeline, Broussard, Cedarwood, Coffee House. I've taken off at least 10 already. So just over the years, coffee was a big thing when I first started out. Everybody wanted a coffee scent, and they were coffee crazy. But then they were like, it just smells like a spilled coffee in my beard, so they kind of moved away from it.
Gotcha. I go through different mood swings with coffee. Sometimes I love them. Sometimes I won't touch them for a few months. I think in the colder months, it's nicer. Yeah, Mark, he might get hungry.
Gets hungry and eat his beard. Well, I around February during Mardi Gras, I release a king cake blend, and it pretty much just smells like a Cinnabon. Like you walk straight into a Cinnabon, and people really enjoyed it. But the thing is, it can be a bit much with that cinnamon on your face. It's not like cinnamon essential oil because you can't do that; it will burn your skin. But the fragrance oil can be a bit much throughout the day.
Yeah, I think cinnamon's the one scent that I said that I've got to, readjust my view on clove after wearing it straight. I know you're supposed to dilute it. I didn't bother.
You didn't dilute. You put the clove straight on your face?
No,
like on your skin?
On a nail.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you're still supposed to like mix it with some kind of carrier, even if it's coconut oil, just because.
On a fingernail?
Yeah, because I mean, it'll still absorb in your fingernail and it'll get into your cuticles and things like that. But I mean, if it's just 1 or 2 drops, it's one thing. But if you're one of those people who use essential oils every day, and they're putting it on their forehead and stuff, that's a bad idea.
I know it's good for the skin when diluted.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good antimicrobial. Clove is, because they use it in thieves. I don't know if you know what thieves is. It's an essential oil blend that they use for cleaning. It's like clove, cinnamon, like cinnamon bark and other things.
I've got a little buddy here bugging me. Coming up, Beans.
It's puppy cam.
So you will have seasonals coming up. And would that be just 1 or 2 scents, or?
Yeah, I'll have like 1 scent in the fall, 1 scent in the spring, or 1 scent in the summer. My summer scent's probably going to be that Louisiana summer. So as like November rolls around, I'll drop Louisiana summer, just because it's such a green scent. It's like crisp bamboo, eucalyptus. It's a very green scent. And I don't see it meshing well with the winter.
I hear you. Summer scents are the one type of scent that I consider year-round scents.
Year-round.
I'll wear summer scents all year long.
Yeah, Louisiana summer is pretty bright, Yeah,
that is one. I've had bad experiences, just my nose, with eucalyptus. I don't know, for some reason. But otherwise,
eucalyptus has like a more of a medicinal note, as opposed to like a menthol, like a mentholatum.
And Pinard, that's not one of your scents, is it?
No.
Gary, what are you talking about?
That's an old classic scent, kind of like Old Spice,
I'm curious. The one that you mentioned that you dropped it quite a long time ago and they wanted it back. What
Evangeline?
was that scent? Yeah.
It's a spice tobacco.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And the other reason that I dropped it is because Pawpaw's pipe hath perished, and I was accumulating a lot of tobacco blends.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like a tobacco company. And as it is, like Facebook and Instagram kind of, anytime you throw around the word tobacco or bourbon, they kind of blacklist you, So it made marketing
just
kind
for
of hard.
using the word. Yeah.
Corey says eucalyptus smells more like Vicks Vapor Rub. Well, the Vicks is more of a menthol. But yeah, eucalyptus does the same thing. It'll open up your sinuses. And that's kind of why I chose to use it in that Louisiana summer. It's kind of like an aperitif, because as the eucalyptus opens up, the spearmint will play in. You'll get a bigger draw of spearmint, and it's like that clean, refreshing, and with a bamboo finish.
And then again, you can use anything if it's used right.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the ratio right.
Yeah. And Ellie says her grandmother used to have eucalyptus plants. She loved the smell. Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you're going to get more as far as the shaving side of it. We started talking about the razors. What else were you planning to add?
Well, I'm going to be doing like a pre-shave lotion a shaving conditioner, like
Oh,
a skin
you did
conditioner,
mention
that
that.
kind of thing. They call it a razor glide, and pretty much what it does is it lubricates your skin,
Got it.
to alleviate razor bumps and things like that as well, along with the shave soap, uh, badger brushes, the little boar bristle brushes and things like that,
Got it.
and the sets and the kits. But all that's going to take a bit of time. I got to save up capital in order to make that happen.
Yep. And I'm just kind of curious, as far as your retail business, is it difficult getting into these barbershops? Does it take a lot of background work to get in there?
Sometimes it depends on the shop. It's more about maintaining the relationship,
Got it.
making sure that they have inventory, making sure that they're well taken care of, rotating out product because it does go bad if it's sitting on the shelf. But what I tend to do is, if it's sitting on the shelf for a while, I'll reclaim it. Like I'll get it from them, and then I'll either give them a credit or I'll just replenish what they had,
Got it.
or I'll switch it out for something that does sell.
Yeah, what I've seen in my area is that most barbershops don't have anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I would think it's kind of a nice area to get into, only because most barbershops don't offer anything.
Well, because barbershops are in the business of selling a cut. They're selling that service, but a lot of times the little add-ons really help to bring their business to the next level. And that's kind of what I've tended to do. Was I say, oh, I'm in this barbershop, and they have X amount of sales, and this is my I made a sales sheet pretty much, and it has my wholesale price, my retail price, and all the scent profiles and things that I offer.
Yeah.
So a lot of them have reached out to me, but I think in the next couple of years, as I start building more inventory, I'll be reaching out a little bit further.
I would think that's, in a weird way, kind of a little bit more satisfying to have a retail kind of footprint.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat to see your products on the shelf, and people buying it. But also, like this year, I got into my first franchise. It's like a, just for him. It's like a men's barbershop, really. But they have like different ones, and they're owned by franchisees and things like that. So that was a neat experience. I have 4 shops locally, one in Broussard, one in Youngsville, one in Lafayette, one in Karen Crow. And so, it really helps to offset like the internet sales. Like when the internet sales are slumping, the retail sales are going up. But it's kind of problematic because all of my shops tend to order in the same week. So it's like a big old rush,
I would think that there's such a large untapped market out there. I mean, for example, me, 4 years ago, I had no idea there was such a thing as beard products. I just happened to be. Do you have dogs in the background?
Yeah, well, I think my dog's barking at a.
Okay, mine are.
He's
barking.
in a different. Yeah.
Mine are barking at yours. So.
Oh well, I have my headphones in. I don't know if it's picking up on the
they heard your dogs barking.
So they're like, "Where's the dog?"
Yeah. I don't remember what I was just saying.
Well, you were talking about like the retail aspect and if it was a difficult thing to get into. I find that a lot of my customers actually, go out and ask their barber, "Hey, can you carry MudCat Whiskers?" and things like that. And when I was doing an ambassador program, I would kind of encourage my ambassadors to reach out to their barber shops instead of like posting things to Instagram, because it's a better return, and they already have that rapport kind of thing.
I know what I was thinking. I had beards on and off for about 35 years, and it was just because me and my brother were kind of trying to look at cool beards online.
Like this is a style I'm going for, Yeah.
Just that I happened to see a BeardTube video and a DNC video and realized that there was such a thing as beard products. And I've got to imagine there are so many guys out there that have no clue still.
Oh yeah, still like a couple of weeks ago, I did a farmer's market. It was like a birthday bash at a local brewery. And the ladies are bringing their guys up and like, oh, you need to try this, and they had no idea that it was even a thing,
Yeah, I see guys all the time that ask me how the hell I get it to grow long, because they get to 4 or 5 inches and it's
Yeah, it's a wiry mess.
And they've never heard that there is such a thing as beard oil, anything, beard oil, butter, balm, and it just seems like if there was a way to reach those people.
Well, and I mean, the thing is too, I'm not only in barbershops, I'm also in boutiques, because a lot of times we don't spend money on ourselves. We'll buy something for somebody else before we like to pamper ourselves.
Yeah.
But in a boutique, the ladies tend to go to a boutique and they're like, oh, my son has a beard, my husband has a beard, my uncle has a beard, so they'll buy the product for their significant other or, their relative, and then kind of lead them into the experience.
Gotcha. And do you find that women tend to pick the sweeter, lighter scents or the dark?
No. Yeah. Scents? No. Women like a man's scent. You know what? And it's funny because a lot of times men prefer. I mean, not that we wear it, but we prefer a light floral scent because it reminds us of a lady. But we wear the dark scents because that's what attracts the ladies.
I have gotten a kick out of the fact that the ladies like the darker, richer, more manly scents so much more than the lighter ones. It's kind of opposite of what I would have thought.
Right. And my wife is really on me about making candles, mostly to include in the Christmas bundles and things like that, but also for the ladies.
Yep. And Aldemir says that's how he got suckered into. It must have been beard tube with the burping and the farting.
See, I guess I'm not that guy, because I mean, all that kind of puts me off. It just reads, I don't know, it reads like immature. I don't know. Everybody has their own different things.
I just took it that he was trying to be entertaining.
Yeah, and silly, and I get it.
And it works. Yeah. I ran into one of his videos a few weeks ago, and I thought he had given up on the beard stuff and was doing like home improvement content, and he had doubled his subscribers for the beard content. He's up above 200,000.
Oh,
people.
Okay.
So I mean, you can say you don't like it, but it works.
Right. No, and I know it. I know it works. And I watched a lot of his videos too. It's just kind of like an eye roll thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's your shtick. Yeah. But I mean, I think my main problem is I've never been much of a hype guy. Like I make a product, I put it out, it sells, and people like it. But I'm never like my own cheerleader, if that makes sense. I'm really low key and laid back, and I don't need a big following, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, do you do MudCat Whiskers full time?
No. This is going to be like I'm a middle school teacher. Currently, this year I'm going to be teaching science and PE, which is an interesting blend. But I'm certified in all the subjects, so I can teach anything. Mostly I've been teaching math and science and social studies, those kind of things. But I'm looking at this as something for me to do when I retire in like 14 years. So that's why I'm like, I'm not in any rush to go about making a name for myself. I'd much rather be the one, when you run out of MudCat, that you can go back 10 years later and find another bottle of MudCat.
Gotcha. In fact, so how old are the kids that you teach?
Well, they're 8th grade, so 13, 14.
13, 14.
15, 16, depending on how much they failed.
Have you found them to have gotten worse over the years, or?
No, I mean, parents have been complaining about kids since we've had kids. Every generation was worse than a generation before, according to whoever's raising them. The whole back in my day, we didn't do it that way. Well, just, it's cyclical if you think about it.
I always get a kick out of, people talking about how horrible the children are. And I think of the kids I know, and they're all nice kids.
Yeah, they're great. It's funny, Kim. My wife's actually an accountant. She's a CPA. she's working at home currently, but yeah.
And Ellie got her husband into beard care.
Dr. Squatch. Nice.
I've never gotten Dr. Squatch.
Well, I see the ads all the time, but I just know that, something that's marketed that much is probably going to dry me out like a lot.
I will tell you that I still use Honest Amish from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my brother, Beard Life.
Beard Life. Yeah, actually, Aaron and I know each other pretty well. He's been a judge at a couple of my beard competitions before. He's a great guy.
Daniel
and he doesn't own.
Hello.
Hey, Daniel. And he doesn't own Honest Amish, but like I said, he's their social media. He goes from he'll travel across the country, promoting their brand.
In fact, you mentioned the name of that Facebook group that he has.
Yeah, Talking Beards. Him and Scott Sequoia.
I'm just, like I said, I really had intended getting a little crew together to go to this year's, and apparently I already missed it. So,
well, that's just they also have Worlds too, but Worlds is held in different areas around the globe. Like sometimes it'll be in Germany, and that's really big.
Heading to Pennsylvania seems a little bit more doable than,
right,
Germany.
Heading out to Scotland. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just wanted to experience it once.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, even if you go to your local beard competitions, it's such a different experience that a lot of people on Instagram or YouTube haven't, experienced before, because it's like the whole community, but it's a different community than the community that we interact with online. It's more, you'll notice all the charity work they do, all the brotherhood, all the different beard clubs, and it's just really great.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about the bearded community, but there's so many other
aspects
groups
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen guys that I never heard of before that have been doing videos for, 6 years. They've got almost 30,000 subscribers. And I'm like, I've never heard of this guy, seen him.
Right.
It's out there. It exists. Social media tends to keep us within our geographic region.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you stay in your own little fishbowl, and you just swim around and
and look around. And I think I'm caught up on those comments. Does anyone have any questions for Nick? Anything you'd like to know about MudCat Whiskers' plans for the future, or do you have anything that you'd like to let people know? Hey, John from Jay's Beard Essentials.
Hey, Jay. Yeah, Ken, like I was saying before, I'm on my phone on StreamYard, so I can't really see the chat. In order for me to see the chat, I'd have to push the little chat button at the bottom.
Okay.
And then I can't see the video, so it's kind of like a...
Yeah, if someone does ask a question, I can let you know.
Yeah, just make sure you pop them up.
Yeah,
the goth community. Yeah, we do a lot of Ren Fair and steampunk and that kind of thing. So that's always interesting because we have a big Ren Fair out in Texas.
I do kind of get a kick about all the controversy in the beard community. I've always gotten a kick out of not knowing what's going on with this or that's happened until a month after it's already over.
I have no idea what's going on any particular day. I mean, I mostly just do my own thing.
And Love Them Labs, I think, is asking what your favorite scent is.
Currently, it's the Quarter, mostly because that's the one I keep getting drawn to. But I do tend to wear Leather and Boudreaux. Those are my usual dailies.
And the Quarter. I'm just bringing it up so I can...
Yeah,
that's new.
Yeah, the Quarter is really complex. It takes a little getting used to, but it opens up in a variety of different ways depending on the heat and everything. Yeah, it has 10 different fragrance and essential oils in there. So
yeah, I'm reading vanilla, Burmese wood, tobacco, rum, leather, oud, and incense.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to say that I'm a bit of a coward when I order. For example, when I ordered from you, I got
Strawberry Hill and Fig and Awesome.
Yes, and my big leap of faith was eaten. Which
Yeah.
if I was really going to be aggressive, I should have gone for something like the quarter. You know what?
Well, what did you think of them, Eden and Strawberry Hill and Fig and Awesome?
I love Strawberry Hill. I love that it's got a lot of strawberries I have.
Yeah.
You know, they smell like strawberry and it's fine, but this really does have that cologne aspect to it that doesn't take away from the strawberry, and I really enjoyed that.
Well, in making that, I wanted something that didn't smell like a strawberry car air freshener. You know, because a lot of times when you get a cherry tobacco or a strawberry or a fruit scent, it smells so artificial that it's almost, you know, candy or chemically. And so I wanted something like a different take.
And as far as Fig and Awesome, the reason I like that was because it's Fig and Awesome. This is such a good scent. I mean, I've never had a fig scented oil before, and I loved it. And then Eden is just plain awesome and bright. And
yeah, Eden has a redwood base, which is completely different as far as wood goes. It's a little bit more floral on the nose, but it has a little spice.
I didn't feel like it moved too far in the floral direction at all. But I do now that I'm talking to you, and
now that you're thinking about it, now that I planted that little seed.
Well, no, I would like to expand in some of the more complex scents, the ones that you know I could trip into something that's really not for me, you know, as opposed to just getting the ones that I know I'm going to like before I even get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your comfort levels, you know.
Yeah. You know, I don't go as far as, you know, often I'll order one thing that I really think might not be for me at all, just to see what happens.
Now, I do have a money back guarantee because I know like buying a scent online is extremely difficult. You know, that's why I like the retail spaces, because I could touch it and smell it and feel it, you know. But if ever you do order a scent and you don't like it, I'll either switch it out for something else or I'll just refund.
I would never return something that, you know, it's
no, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's always been my case, because I know that ordering a scent online is difficult, and I don't have any problem with it.
You know, if I order something with clove in it where I know I might have a problem with it, I'm not going to get my money back for it because I chose poorly, you know, for my nose. Yeah, I could never bother returning something.
And I mean, honestly, most of the time, since it's already been open, I just tell you to keep it, and I'll just send you out something else, you know. I mean,
yeah,
I guess I shouldn't be broadcasting that I'm going to have like 1,000 orders, all of them returned, just so they could run through the list. But
I couldn't do that to an owner. Just the cost of the shipping alone is.
Well, and I'm out of stock currently, but I do usually carry a sample set, and in that sample set, it's 4 half-ounce bottles, and you can select from any of my oils. So, you know, you can mix and match. I have one guy. What he does is he gets all 4 of the same oils, because it's actually cheaper to go that way than to get a 1 ounce. Because with 4 half ounces, you're actually getting 2 ounces for 16 as opposed to 28 or whatever, you know. But yeah, that's a good way to test them out. And I figure with a half ounce, it's enough where you can go through it in like a couple weeks and actually get a feel for it, as opposed to like the little bitties.
I didn't see where you have half ounces offered.
Yeah, it's under samples. If you scroll down, but they're sold out at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I've got to tell you that I love half ounce sizes. I mean, if I can get 18 uses out of a full ounce, and I buy a bottle with 9 uses, you know, there's.
Well, it's 4 half-ounce bottles, so you're actually getting 2 ounces.
Oh.
For like $16. That's why I'm sold out.
Yep. And thank you, John. That's nice of you to say. It's something I've always wondered. Now you have these half-ounce samples, and is that something that you like to sell? You know, where it's profitable for you, or is it something that you just do to help out the customers? And it's not really advantageous to you.
Yeah, it's a loss leader. Like pretty much. Not making any money off of the samples at all, hardly, but it gives people a good variety. especially if they're on the cliff of what, which one to choose. That way they can get a good feel for it. And then if they have one that they truly like, like leather or Bayou Black, then it allows them to experiment without being too out of pocket,
Yep. I do feel for the owners in their situation. So when I know it's really not helping them in a way, hurting them.
Well,
but
the thing is, like with the sample, it's not about selling that one sample. It's about them finding the scent that they like and coming back and getting the combo. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a business card, if you would.
I get you. For me, because I'm doing reviews, I know that the likelihood of me ever buying something again, no matter how much I like it,
right, is slim.
Yeah. I mean, I can probably, count on one hand the number of scents that, I love enough. It doesn't matter how much I like these 3 scents. If I buy more, I'm going to try more scents. I'm not
right.
going to,
Yeah.
And
Van used to be one of my ambassadors a while back. Yeah, he really did. He's a good guy. He's done a lot for me. Yeah, Nicholas, I do have beard wash. I have beard conditioner. I don't do like the co-wash. I've never done a co-wash, mostly because I don't see the point. It's a conditioner or it's a shampoo. I mean, that's all it is. It either washes out the oil or it doesn't. And I mean, if you're putting oil in a co-wash, then essentially you're just pushing it down the drain. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just rambling, but conditioner is conditioner in my opinion. But I do also have like the colognes. This is the Bayou Black. This is the Fig and Awesome. Somebody special requested Fig and Awesome, but I haven't put the label on it yet. So it's just sitting here on my shipping table.
And Gary had a question about Strawberry Hill.
Is the Strawberry Hill, strawberry dominant? I think it plays more in the back a little bit. Like it's definitely there. Strawberry is going to be a top note, but it fades pretty quickly, in my opinion.
Really? I would have answered that opposite.
Do you think that the strawberry is more muted, or do you think it's very upfront?
I thought the strawberry was the dominant scent with a cologne vibe to it.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, I mean, you'll definitely smell the strawberry first. But do you, Ken? Do you find that it fades over time, or is that the one that sticks with you?
I think that
because I mean, I smell it all the time, so it's like,
Yeah, I think that one faded. I could look at my notes and
see,
tell you exactly what it was. For the centration, I thought it was about 3 to 4 hours, and probably what you're talking when the strawberry dropped off, I didn't really get the cologne vibe after it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I didn't,
Yeah, you didn't notice it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought I love strawberry. I love all fruits. So that's what I was looking for in it.
Well, and I kind of released strawberry kind of like playing around with the summer scent, but I wanted to have like a little line of fruit with the Fig and Awesome, the Strawberry Hill. And I was playing around with like a currant, but I did, or no, it was Blueberry Holler. I had that as a sample set a while back.
Blueberry Holler?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't release that one.
Oh, no?
No.
I love blueberry.
That might be a next year kind of thing.
And John had a question about your carrier blend.
Yeah, my carrier blend is jojoba, hemp seed, and argan. And I selected them because they all have different aspects as when it comes to the fats and the acids and things like that. They offer something different. I didn't want to go with carrier oils that all had high oleoic acid. I'm stumbling over my words, but all give you the same thing. So the hemp seed is going to give you something, the jojoba is going to give you something else, and the argan. But also they do have a longer shelf life than most carrier oils. But the jojoba I chose because it locks in the moisture. The hemp seed adds strength, and the argan is just a great oil for for hair without getting all sciencey.
And I think I just pinned that comment by accident. But it looks like we're running up on the end of the hour, and I don't want to keep you from your family or anything else that might be going on. I'm really glad that you came on. I always wonder if people are going to want to come on, or I never give people a lot of time to decide, because I always think if I'm going to do a review, you've got to let them watch the review before they say yes, they're going to come on.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I mean, my thing is, I like to get to know people as people. You know what I mean? That's kind of the reasons why I've been doing the live from the lab on Wednesdays. It's more just that social aspect that I'm actually getting out there a little bit. It gives me that opportunity just to talk with somebody about beards who isn't my wife, because she's kind of tired of hearing about it.
Yeah. I hear you, honey. Let's.
Yeah, she's like, "How are you still talking about beards?" I'm like, "But you don't understand."
Yeah. But I did want to thank Nick and everybody else that came in to watch it. Don't take it the wrong way, but are you related to Pete from Damn Yankee?
Who, me?
I would assume he means you.
No, I'm not related to anybody.
Except your parents, right?
Yeah.
Have a great night, Nick.
My top sellers, currently my top 5 are Bayou Black, Boudreaux, The Quarter, Parrish, Leather, and Pawpaw's Pipe. I think that might be more than 5. I wasn't really counting.
Ian, I'm curious. Now you mentioned you're sold out on the samples.
Is that I am getting
soon?
them back in. Yeah. After I get off here, I'm going to be placing a large inventory order. I'm gearing up for the fall season, with holidays and whatnot. I got to start prepping now, because all my retailers are going to want to restock and stuff.
Gotcha. And you don't stock them with samples, do you? Or
what I'll do is, if they order like a case, which I usually do 6 bottles, I'll give them 7, and they'll keep the 1 as a tester, and they'll put like a little tester label on it. But I was having one retailer, they would always sell the samples because the guy wasn't paying attention, and so they bought the testers. So I had to actually like take the barcode off the back, put a little sticker on it so they can't ring it up.
Yeah. And dang, sounds like him and looks like him. I guess he's saying that you've got a twin.
Oh, a doppelganger.
Yeah. All right, folks. So I think we're going to cut it off now. There are a couple of live streams that start at 9:00, and I don't like to step on their time slot. So until the next time, and thank you everyone for stopping in.
All right. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh,
it was fun.
Believe me, I appreciate it deeply. And let me end this.